Hello and welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast, which is a day late because I was out getting drunk near Swindon. Yeah, I know, Swindon.
I dated a girl from Swindon once, a long time ago.
Yeah, poor Swindon.
Yes.
So, I don't think there'll be too many people watching today, but for the listeners and people who catch us up on YouTube, welcome. And yes, Keith, how have you been? What have you been up to?
It's been an interesting week. Yeah, I watched Tron over the weekend, and Tron Legacy again. I forgot. They're really good films, both of them, in their own right. Yes, the effects of the original Tron is a bit lame, but it's a great story, and actually the follow-up film was better than I thought it was going to be. And God, you're right about the soundtrack. I remember the soundtrack. I bang on about how good the soundtrack is, but it is a fucking good soundtrack.
Oh, dude, it's the best thing from that film. You just watch that film and the thing you walk over, God, that was a really good soundtrack.
It made you appreciate that third trailer, the trailer for Tron Ares, even more. I don't know what they're going to do there because Bruce, what's his face, is not in it.
Bruce Boxleitner.
He's not going to be.
Not
in
even
it.
as a voice.
Well, you see, right at the end of Tron Legacy, Tron survives.
Yeah, and he turns back to Tron.
Yeah.
So he moves from Rinsler, named after the special effects guy who did all the concept art.
The only problem with Legacy is that Bridges, when he's young, is awful. It's so badly done, and they could do with going back in there and just redoing it for when Ares comes out, because now that they've got modern tech, they could so easily replace that really quickly. But again, it's quite
right. I'm going to ask you something about that. Did you find that for the first 5-10 minutes it really bothered you, and then after that you just went, fuck it, and got on with it? With Jeff Bridges' young face.
The eyes bothered me. And so even when he's Clue, the eyes bothered me. It bothered me less, but it still bothered me at points.
But I just saw it as a computer thing, if that made any sense. So I looked past it. It was weird. My brain just did it for the first couple of minutes. It was like, not as bad as Rook in Alien Romulus. That was
true.
That was.
And they've got no excuse for that because they've got the technology now. Because look at, despite, I know I'm going to say it, but I'm saying it for a reason. Look at that episode of Book of the Boba Fett. They did a damn good job with Luke in that episode. And so they've got the tech. So Alien Romulus was after that. They've got no excuse for that. Do you know the other thing I watched this week? Because I was doing all these upgrades on Good Friday, so I had to sit there and watch paint dry. So I was watching all these movies. I rewatched The Fifth Element and forgot how much I love that film. Like, I genuinely love that film. And watching it again, it's still a fucking good film. Gary Oldman is brilliant in it. Bruce Willis is fucking brilliant in it. It's such a good film. Ian Holm, because you were talking about Alien. Again, brilliant. It's such a good film, and I forgot how much I like that. So I've been kind of nostalgic a bit this week.
Yeah.
I did watch Daredevil.
Yeah,
I've got some opinions about that. And of course I watched Doctor Who, which we'll get into at some point.
So did I, because someone told me to watch it.
I said watch from the 28th minute. In fairness, I told you to watch from the 28th minute, but I watched that. I've done half of your Bondsman series. I've got to get through the other half, but I'm kind of inching that out because I'm enjoying it, and there's not a lot to watch at the moment. So I'm kind of like spacing that out a bit, so I've got something to watch that's enjoyable.
It's a good TV show. I really enjoyed it. It's just it's him and his mum fighting demons. It's fucking great concept. Anyway, I think we should move on with our first story. So let's
My name is Jeff.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So, Doctor Who showrunners Russell T Davies has addressed the criticism labelling the series as too woke emphasizing that inclusivity is integral to the show's storytelling. In a BBC Radio 2 interview, Davies stated, "What you may call diversity, I just call an open door," highlighting his his commitment to reflecting the real world in the series. A fucking science fiction series. Davies dismissed the online backlash over the show's progressive casting themes, nothing, noting that the writing with diversity enriches storytelling and mirrors real life. He expressed that limiting representation is creatively restrictive, asking, why would you limit yourself? Why breathe in exhaust fumes? Why be toxic? The current season of the show featuring Ncuti Gatwa as Doctor and the Asian girl as companion marked the first time both lead roles portrayed by actors of colour. I fucking hate that. Sounds so sodding racist. Sethu responded to the criticism saying, "Woke just means being inclusive, progressive, and caring about people. And as far as you know, the core of Doctor Who is kindness, loving, and doing." Gatwa also echoed these sentiments, emphasising that the casting reflects societal progression and the show's enduring values. He noted that having two non-white leads is progressive in terms of blah blah blah, and looks forward to the time such casting choices are no longer seen as groundbreaking. Despite some online negativity, Davies has cast the remaining and the cast remain steadfast in their vision of the series. The BBC has stated that the decision regarding the future seasons of Doctor Who will be made after the current one concludes. It's getting cancelled. Yeah,
well,
it's getting
yeah,
cancelled. I what I want to do is, Stephen Moffat left a good message to Chris Chibnall at the time when Peter Capaldi regenerated. I'm actually tempted to pop it on. I think I'll find it and pop it on. And what you're doing is you're not engaging in diversity. You're engaging in the politics of hate, and that's why people don't like it. You're showing hateful things about things, and you're creating division, and you think this is progressive and diverse, and this and it's not.
But he's not even following his own thing. He's going, I'm just creating everyday life. Well, in everyday life, disabled people can be dicks too, Russell. But you refuse to do that because you've said at times that people with disabilities are always portrayed as bad guys. So from now on in, Davros will be a person that is an able-bodied, which is rather ableist of you, I might point out.
It's removing a disabled role from a disabled actor, possibly.
Last time I checked, nobody has a problem with Ncuti Gatwa being black. Nobody has a problem because Martha was black, and nobody fucking...
We loved Martha!
The odd idiot on the internet had a go at that. Mickey, you brought Mickey in. Nobody had a go about that. Probably most people like Mickey. Apparently the actor can't keep his dick in his pants, but that's another matter. But people like the characters. Apart from the very, very small amount of fucking morons on the internet, most people haven't got a problem with that. People have a problem with Ncuti Gatwa because he keeps fucking crying in every fucking episode. And he keeps bloody stupid.
He keeps crying. He's not the Doctor. He doesn't solve anything. Everyone else solves it for him.
Yep.
Yeah, I was hearing this, and I watched the episode, and it was... my God, he's supposed to be this... There was a bit where he had a Doctor moment, and he just turned it down. Yeah? It goes, I'm going to... I'll sort this all out. And it's like... You could... I don't understand this, because all you want to do is you just want to show everyone's fucking racist, everyone's sexist, everyone's homophobic, and all you want to talk about constantly is the fucking hate, and you wonder why people hate it.
We'll talk about yesterday's episode and everything, because I'm trying to stay general at this, because there was 2 articles this week, because he's also defending Ncuti Gatwa, because he's obviously can't, because there is so much criticism of crying every episode. But guess what? Good old Russell T Davies, the boss of the show, right, turned around and said, "Oh, that's Nuti's idea." He's standing by him, he's supporting him, but it's Nuti's idea, right? So in other words, blame him. People... I've had this argument on the internet all day today because people just can't see it. Russell T Davies is a bitter, vindictive man, right? And you see this everywhere, right? And we'll talk more about this because we're going to come onto it. And like the current episode was a pure example of his vindictiveness, and just people can't see it because they're stupid. But the show, what pissed me off about that article is he himself has filled it with, as you said, hate. He is not reflecting normal life, because if he was, Davros would still be in a chair, right? Because disabled people can be dicks too, as can black people, as can Asian people, as can white people.
He missed a trick. He did genuinely miss a trick. He could have turned Davros before the accident. We want to see Davros before the accident and see what he's like. That's what we want, yeah? Because that's something we haven't seen from Davros, and we would have all gone, yeah, we get it. Yeah. And it's like, Hugh Gatwa, he just fucking cries. He just cries, and he doesn't do anything as a Doctor, and it's like, for fuck's sake.
He doesn't.
He doesn't have those moments where he comes like, I'm the Doctor, you step the fuck off, because I'm going to fix... No, he doesn't do that. He calls everyone babes.
It's not a problem if he does something, because, I mean, look, he's allowed to be camp. He's allowed to be a camp actor. He's allowed to be a gay actor, right?
Yeah.
But he has to be the Doctor, right? And the Doctor is a man of action, an intelligent person that does stuff. I personally don't have a problem with him being that gay. I know some people do, and I understand why. It doesn't bother me that much. What bothers me is the crying all the fucking time and not being the Doctor, right? And that has and you can have lots of different characteristics. You can have all the things, but the one thing that remains the same throughout all the Doctors is when the time is to save the world, he turns into that alien, he kicks ass, and he doesn't give up, right? But it's, as you said, it's everybody around him. And now we've got this new companion who's just a bitch. I mean, in that first episode, she's a bitch, right? She's a complete and utter bitch. There's no way. Self-entitled, right, little Mrs. I'm the most important person in this room because I have a vagina.
Did you ever watch Timeless?
Yes.
Yeah, you had an English actor in that called Patson Joseph. Yeah.
Yes.
He was also in an episode of Doctor Who. He could have done the part. He could have done it really well. And it's like he kind of proved himself in Timeless when he did it. And he's using the politics of hate. That's what it is. Yes. And it's
hiding behind it. He and you see it in his tweets. You see the vindictiveness come out when loads of disabled people had a go at him, basically saying, "What are you talking about? You have no idea, right? Stay in your lane, Russell. Talk about homosexuality. Talk about growing up in a time when you were victimized, which you were, in fairness, and weren't free to express yourself. That, Russell, you can talk about, right? You can talk about that. But stay in your fucking lane, because you are not a disabled person. You do not have a disability. So stop fucking white knighting it for those people. Disabled people are perfectly capable of talking for themselves, as are people of colour, right? You are not doing anything. And don't even get me started on the fact this trans. Normal life. So every single fucking companion has a trans friend, do they? No, they don't. And again, the Doctor Who 60th, right? That was not a celebration of Doctor Who. It was a celebration of Russell T Davies' greatest hits. Why do people not see that?
I saw a great YouTube short, and it goes, "What's your hottest Doctor Who take?" The Power of the Doctor, which is Chris Chibnall's last episode, was a better 60th than the 60th. And I was like,
yes!
Agreed. Totally agree with you on that one. I don't like Chris Chibnall, but that was more a 60th anniversary thing where he celebrated all things Doctor Who, and I don't even like Chibnall.
But it's absolutely right, because we got multiple Doctors in there. We got people talking about being the Doctor, right? And actually, that was probably her closest time to actually being the Doctor, and it wasn't that great, but it was still way, 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 way better than Russell T Davies celebrating his ego and pushing his agenda, because he does have an agenda, right? Last night's episode proved that, because we didn't even need to mention one thing. It paid absolutely zero to the story that they were trying to tell, but we had to get that in there because we had to remind people. But we'll come back to that. But the man's deluded, right? The man is deluded. And this is the same 60-year-old man that, is pictured with a 22-year-old, bare-chested and going, and leching all over him.
Yeah, he's got some bloody skeletons. I bet you any money he's got skeletons. Work for the fucking BBC. So it's annoying because I thought Q Gatway might be fine, but yeah. Oh well. But the last night's episode, we had, what was it we had on last night? It was the.
Are we going to talk about it now, or are we going to talk about?
Go on, talk about it now. Talk about it now. It's not in the reviews. It's for this section.
So I mean, first off, we're in 1952, so we have to mention the fact that there is an apartheid, even though it absolutely had no bearing on the episode or the story they were trying to tell. But we had to shoehorn that in there, right?
Yeah.
There was no need for it. There was no need to say that in this particular story. If the story was about something else going on there, then mention it. But it had nothing to do with it, right? And you had to get that in there. But it's not like you did anything with it. You just told people that was it.
Do you know what I found really obnoxious? Is in the beginning of the episode, he asked whatever it was, because she had a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Two things fucked me off. One, she knows she had a boyfriend. Because that was in the previous episode. I knew that. I didn't watch that. So why did you ask the question? And two, why did you ask if she had a girlfriend first? Considering that you knew she had a boyfriend. Why would you do that? Why? It doesn't make any sense. The question is redundant. It's just so you could shoehorn something in there. I just want a fucking story. Tell me a story, please, for the love of God.
And as much as Russell wants you to believe it, the majority of people are straight. It is absolutely fine being gay. You should not be judged for who you love. I agree with that. But the natural question is, do you have a boyfriend to a girl? It is the natural question, right? That is normal everyday life. That is what normal people will ask. And it's absolutely fine. Just like it's absolutely fine to say, ladies and gentlemen, on the fucking tram, because the minority of people that identify as non-binary is less than 1% of the population of UK. So it's absolutely fucking fine to do that. It's absolutely fine to ask a girl if she has a boyfriend. It is natural, right? It is not anti-gay. It's not homophobic. It's that, right? But don't get me started.
It's just, as I said before, it's the politics of hate. They want to hate on the audience. They want to do this, and it's not good.
And yes, and they absolutely do that. And what's more, he had a go at Stephen Moffat because he can't. And I'm telling you, people are going, "Oh no, it was a joke. It was funny. You don't get it. You absolutely don't get this." I get it because I know what an egotistical prick RTD is. Right, and he always has been. I also know how vindictive he is. Just go and speak to Christopher, what's-his-face, and you'll find out how vindictive he was, right? He absolutely is having a go at Blink, right? Absolutely, because he can't stand it. His ego cannot stand it. And more than once this has come out in tweets, if anybody bothered to fucking follow and see what's going on. So basically, we got our She-Hulk moment in this episode where we break the fourth wall. We end up in some kind of meta thing, right? Where, guess what? Russell T Davies attacks the fans. And he even mentions R.I.P. Doctor Who. The only reason he mentioned that was to have a go, because that is one particular fan who's become very popular It's a multitude of fans that have done it. It's not just him. It doesn't work if he's the only one person doing it. But he is the one that came up with the hashtag, right? Yeah. And arguably launched his channel off the back of it, right? And that was Russell T Davies having watched those videos and trying to have a pop. And all he did was basically make Gary right. Right, and just the attacking of the fans, and what about the one with the goblins? No, Russell, because they're shit. And he was trying to be funny. He was trying to be meta. He was trying to poke fun at himself and not look like he was actually really can't get over the fact that Blink is constantly voted the best episode of Doctor Who under Russell's stewardship, and he can't hack it. I'm telling you, his ego can't hack it. You can watch that and you can interpret it whatever way you like. But when you know how this person operates, then you see it. He was joking with intent.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you know what the way the thing got me is? It was, you could see the production in there looked good, but it was crap. That's the bit that got me. It felt like a children's TV show and not a family show that you're supposed to watch after dinner on a Saturday. That's the bit that got me, I think, more than anything else. Because I watched the whole thing, and I did get bored halfway through. Did something else and came back. But it felt childish. It didn't feel like you were trying to tell a proper story. This is the annoying thing which is more than I could say for Whittaker. He could have the gravitas to pull the Doctor off quite well, but he doesn't. He seems to shy. From what I watched, he shied away from it. So yeah,
but I think that's partly the writing. I do think that's partly the writing.
No. I will give you an example. Peter Capaldi killed the moon. Peter Capaldi killed the moon. Kill the Moon's a fucking terrible episode. Peter Capaldi, really good, even with a really shit script. Yeah, good actor can elevate a script. Seriously, they can. I think Peter Capaldi's is a great example of that. And I can't find the controls.
But I mean, even when you see the three fans, and Belinda goes to them, God, you're annoying. It's so obnoxious. Again, that is a hidden Russell having a go at the fans. He's saying that. It's not joking, right? Everybody's reading it as a joke, but that's not him joking. That is actually what he thinks, right? Because then he has the R.I.P. Doctor Who line in there. If that wasn't there, right, and if it wasn't like this meta pop-up blink, right, I would have gone, okay, funny, you're just trying to be funny. But no, that was intent, right? And again, the three people on the thing, we had to have a disabled person in there because there's lots of people, three fans all watching Doctor Who with their disabled.
Do you know what
friend.
Got me? Is it should have had a family there.
Yeah,
it should have been a family watching the TV, and you could have had everyone around watching it because that's what you wanted.
Russell's never had that. Russell doesn't like that. Russell hates that. Look, I can understand why he might harbour some resentment, right? And I understand some resentment coming from him, but this is full-on hate, right? And maybe it's just that we now live in a world where people do accept more and more, right? As much as these Hollywood wankers would like you to believe that we don't, actually, most people do. Most people just don't have an issue like this anymore because we've been brought up in the 80s and 90s where the world did change.
I just remember the previous episodes of Doctor Who where you had like the was it the Next Doctor? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And his assistant. No one gave her a shit then.
Nope.
Because we had a good story, and
yep.
And it was like what's his name? Who played Sacha Dhawan or whatever, who played the Master. Yeah. One thing I didn't like Jodie Whittaker. I actually liked him. I always described him as the Master coked up. Yeah, because he kind of came like he's been just sniffing stuff. But it's just doesn't matter. It dropped. The figures were below 2 million.
1.58 million. It's the lowest rated episode of all time.
Yeah.
Ratings are where you want them to be, are they, Russell?
Yeah, in the toilet.
Yeah.
That's the bit that gets me, and it's annoying.
I mean, it's cancelled.
And it's cancelled. Yeah. I wonder how long it'll take. Anyway, I think we'll move on to the next one because I think you need to calm down. Let me think. Hang on a second. Hold on.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh
no! Sorry. Lucasfilm has officially announced Star Wars Starfighter, a new theatrical film directed by Shawn Levy, to begin production in fall of 2025. The film is set to release on May 28th, 2027 aligning with Memorial Day weekend. The announcement was made during Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025, where Levy appeared alongside Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy and Chief Creative Officer Dave Filoni. Actor Ryan Gosling, who will also star in the film, made a surprise appearance. Set approximately 5 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, Starfighter will introduce a brand new character portrayed by Gosling. Whilst specific plot details remain under wraps, the film is expected to explore narratives within the Star Wars universe. Of course it fucking is. This project is part of a broader slate of upcoming Star Wars films, included the works of Charmin Obey-Chinoy, James Mangold, Taika Waititi, and a new trilogy by Simon Kinberg.
So first off, the Ray movie.
Hold on a second. Patty Jenkins was supposed to do a Rogue thing about Starfighters, yeah? Do you think that's been cancelled and replaced with this?
Yes, we already knew that.
I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention.
That had got cancelled. I don't know if this is what's replacing it, but it had been cancelled. The Ray movie's been cancelled because there's, it was meant to be released next year, and that's kind of been slightly pushed out the way for Mandalorian and Grogu. And then the next year we've got Starfighter. So this Ray movie, never going to happen. The trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu did feel more like the original sort of Mandalorian series. It's got Ripley, actress.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver is in it. And it is actually quite a cool scene when they walk in, you hear her voice, and you do get a little bit of a geek hard on when you see her sitting on a table in a Star Wars movie. You're kind of like, okay. But then you remember this is Disney, so it's going to be shit. But the trailer kind of works. And he gets a new Razor Quest ship in it. And you can understand why some people were cheering about that. There was nothing really wrong with the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. It was spectacularly average, as you put it, but that's better than most other fucking things that have been done. You're not wrong.
Sure.
But it was still better than most of the stuff, what they did. And it had moments that were cool for fans, right? It wasn't... Yeah. What it was not was obnoxious. Right? Yeah. And so, therefore, it kind of worked. The trailer was fun, right? I've seen, like, a grainy version of the trailer, and it was kind of fun, right? I have no idea. I mean, when you called it Starfighter, I remember that really sort of cheesy, but I still love it. The last Starfighter film from the 1980s.
That was cool.
Fucking
so
movie.
Cool.
It's a fucking good movie.
That was really cool.
That's when I heard it. It is slightly cheesy. It is very 80s cheese, but it's great. It's a really cool movie. And that's still, when you hear Star Wars Starfighter, you're like...
You're thinking of a game, aren't you?
Yeah. And I'm not that. Ryan Gosling, I think is. I don't know. Sometimes I like Ryan Gosling, and sometimes I don't. I really, really, really dislike that Neil Armstrong movie. It's just like this emo version of Neil Armstrong throughout the whole movie, and it's really annoying. And it really doesn't work for me. It's a really bad movie. But he's great in other things. So, and he's about to be in a movie that I swear to God, if they fuck this movie up, I'm going to be so annoyed because I've been waiting for it for ages. And I know it's finished shooting, but they're talking about it being Oscar worthy, which makes me think they're going to fuck it up. Which is Project Hail Mary, which is from Andy Weir. And it's my second favourite Andy Weir book, and it is a fucking good book. And if they fuck this up, I'll be pissed off.
Okay. What's Project Hail Mary?
I don't want to ruin it for you because it is a damn good story, right? And it goes off in a direction that you don't think it's going when it first starts, and I love it. It is a mystery box thing, but it's a bit like Paradise. It answers the fucking questions, Gareth. Like, he wakes up on a spaceship, but it takes him a few minutes to realise he's on a spaceship. Then he realizes that everybody else is dead on the spaceship, and he doesn't know why because he's got no memory. And it slowly goes back by him remembering what had happened for him to get there. Then he realizes he's in a completely different fucking solar system, right? In modern day, how the fuck did he get there? And then you start learning how he got there, and it's great. It's a really good story with a great fucking ending.
Okay.
And a character is not your average hero, and again it works because there's redemption and there's things like that, and again it makes that ending so much better. The book is awesome. Ryan Gosling could play this character as long as he doesn't play it in a really stupid emo way, as long as he doesn't play it like he played Neil Armstrong, because I hate that fucking film. Anyway, you wanted to pay you had that Doctor Who speech lined up, you didn't play it.
No. We'll just leave it for another time. You went off for such a long time. I was like, oh,
sorry. Can you tell I'm a bit annoyed by that?
I stopped caring a while. I stopped caring a good fucking while back. I really did. I think I stopped caring when David Tennant wouldn't regenerate into Kuti Gatwa, which would piss me off, because I thought that's a fucking disservice to the actor if he fucking pulls his finger out and does some acting. But hey ho. Yeah, let's move on to our next one.
Well.
A new live-action Pacific Rim prequel series officially in development and will be available on Amazon. Is officially in development and will be available on Amazon Prime TV. The series is a collaboration between legendary television Chronology, the production company of screenwriter Eric. I have no idea to say that. Who did Arrival, Shadow, and Bone. Also, the show. Also, he also. Oh, fuck it. There's a Pacific Rim thing. I hate it when I lose this, because when I stop reading it properly, it just goes to shite. It's coming to Amazon Prime. It'll be before Big Robot Punches Big Lizard. Quite a lot. Big Robot Punches Big Lizard. The series will delve into the original origins of the Pacific Rim universe, exploring events leading up to the first kaiju attack, the development of the Jaeger program, whilst specific plot details are under wraps. Speculation as the story may focus on characters like Stacker Pentecost, portrayed by Idris Elba in the original film. The prequels mark the latest expansion of the Pacific Rim franchise, which began with Guillermo del Toro in 2013 and continued with the 2018 sequel Pacific Rim Uprising and the animated series Pacific Rim The Black from 2021 to 2022. In addition to the series, there are discussions about potential new film franchises. They could explore unresolved storylines from previous installments or adapt from the graphic novel Pacific Rim The Final Breach. As of now, there's no confirmation of production timeline, release details for the prequel series. Fans, blah, blah, blah. I never got Pacific Rim. Yeah, it's like the kaijus come out of this crack. Just let them come out the crack and then it would nuke them.
Yeah, they tried that. I mean, I liked the first Pacific Rim film. I thought the first Pacific Rim film was quite good. Yeah. I did not like the second one, although the second one did kind of add to it. They were an alien race, weren't they? They were aliens. Use it. It was a kind of wormhole opening.
Yeah, it was.
And I thought the first one was good because Idris Elba was quite good in it. It had the dude from EastEnders in it. The guy
also had Owen from Torchwood too.
Yes. And I don't know. I mean, the characters were significantly wacky enough. I didn't like what Uprising did because it kind of changed the fate of a few characters. And I generally liked that as a standalone film. A prequel could work. I did kind of enjoy the Monarch TV series. And if it's done in a similar vein, it could be quite interesting. I thought there was an interesting world there, sort of like Japanese-esque world that sort I just thought it was interesting, and we could explore that more. So I'm kind of, I'll watch this if it's any good. Probably won't be, because a lot of things coming out these days are not very good. But I did like the first film. Didn't like the second one.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I watched the first one and it just made me go, there is easier ways of dealing with these things. Yeah, it really is. There's you could I don't know, orbital laser, fucking nuke, blast them. But no, we can't do any of that. Why not? The simple solution is usually the best solution. But it was Big Monkey. Well, I don't know. Godzilla makes. I don't know actually how I feel about it. It looked pretty. It was very neon, but it just seemed like bollocks. It's Godzilla's bollocks, but I buy Godzilla more than I buy Pacific Rim, if that makes any sense. Because Godzilla's got like a history and it's come from somewhere, so keeping some of that bollocks is kind of part of its cultural DNA, shall we say. Whereas Pacific Rim was something entirely new, where you could get rid of some of the nonsense from it, but you still put bollocks in it. And there were supposed to be aliens that were responsible for sending the kaijus through, and that was never lent on. Yeah. And yeah, it was. No, you can. There's a big thing. Drop a bomb on it. Bang. Problem gone. Easy. You have to build a giant robot. You don't have to build a giant robot. This is not a fucking Japanese anime. You do not have to build a giant robot to beat everything.
It was taken after that. That was the influence here. And the first film was kind of cool, right? Did it make perfect sense? No, but it was kind of a good film. It was giant robot smash giant lizard. And there were some great fucking scenes with it. And the character's great. And Idris makes a fucking awesome speech in it. It had all the things of like... It had comedy. It had cool shit in it. It wasn't as good as like Independence Day, but it was kind of in that vein of good fast food popcorn movies. And it entertained for a couple of hours. The second one was nowhere near as good, and I've never watched the cartoon. But giant robots smash up giant lizard. Who gives a shit? Come on. It's a giant robot fighting a giant
I don't know.
lizard.
I'll give it a watch. But as I said before, it was just like kind of, dude, it's new, updated. You could get a bit clever. I like clever stuff. But that's one of those things. It was a touch of what the fuck is this? So yeah, that one there. So I'm trying to think. Did I ever watch the second one? No, I didn't. Don't. Okay. All right. Let's have this.
All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
I posted that today. Because
Did you?
I've noticed in a lot of like F1 forums, there's quite a lot of anti-British people, right, in F1 forums. Specifically from the Dutch. Right?
Oh my God.
Because I dared to criticise the great and honourable Max Verstappen after yesterday's almighty fuck up. And they were all getting leery about it. I just posted that.
They do realise that British Formula 1 teams can do more in a shed with some spanners than probably their entire fucking nation.
No, they can't take the fact that actually most Formula 1 teams are in Britain, right? Sky Sports is the main broadcaster, British, unfortunately, right? And they're all butthurt because Max got a 5-second penalty, which he fucking deserved, right? And the stupid thing is, right, I'm going into sports now, but very quickly, if he had fucking given the position back, he would have won the race. Just saying, you stupid Dutch people. Anyway.
Somehow it became a Formula 1 podcast.
I'm getting into it. It's quite good this season. Anyway, let's talk about this.
Now, we are fucked.
Director Ryan Coogler has confirmed that his next project will be a reboot of The X-Files. In a recent interview, Coogler expressed enthusiasm about the endeavour, stating, "I'm working on The X-Files. That's what is immediately next. He aims to deliver episodes that are genuinely frightening, adding some of these episodes we're going to try our jobs to really fucking scare you. Coogler also revealed that he's in discussions with Gillian Anderson, who will portray Agent Dana Scully who portrayed Agent Dana Scully in the original. Whilst her involvement is not confirmed, Coogler mentioned she's an incredible. Fingers crossed there. The reboots developed under Coogler's overall deal with Disney Television's original series creator Chris Carter has expressed original series Chris Carter has expressed support for the project, stating he's looking forward to seeing what someone else does with it. As the project progresses, further details in regards to casting and thingies are much anticipated. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
I don't get this. Right, they brought it back, right, and it kind of didn't work.
More than once.
And they brought it back twice, and Gillian Anderson left, and they're kind of losing the point. They never really answered the questions. They never really solved the thing. But the thing that most people liked about the X-Files were the lore stories and not the Monster of the Week episodes. Don't get me wrong. There are a few legendary Monster of the Week episodes. Tombs. Yes, I know you were going to say Tombs, and I was about to mention there's several others that I can think of. But all in all, people liked the X-Files the most when it was doing lore episodes and those 2-parters or those 3-parters. I don't... But that was back in the early 90s. We're 30 years on from the X-Files.
I'm going to be honest with you. Given all the UFO stuff around the moment, yeah, might be a good time for the X-Files to come back. Seriously. It might be. Because there's 2 things that the X-Files did which you probably never knew. 1, increased the sales of video cameras. 2, increased the sales of mobile phones. Because they were always on their bloody mobile phones everywhere they went. It was the best advert for mobile phones. So if they're clever, they can figure some bits out there. But coming back to like the conspiracy behind the things, what they need to do is they need to have someone away from Mulder and Scully, a fresh start, yeah. And as far as they're concerned, Mulder and Scully, they've kind of been erased, and they're like digging up their past and finding stuff out about them. And then you can have at the end of the first season, they finally get to meet them, or something along those lines, yeah. And do a build up along those lines, yeah. Still have the weird shit happen every so often, so you need to break it up. But make it like network TV, 22 episodes. Yeah, so go for the go for 22 episodes annually. Make it properly. Yeah, don't do this Stranger Things where they're all now old enough to get a pension.
I agree with you that they should do it yearly. I disagree that we need 22 episodes. I always think that when you do 22 episodes, it's too much. A 12-episode season or 13-episode season like they used to do with Doctor Who, right, which it forces you into more concise, better storytelling, and you get like when they do a decent 2-parter, it's likely to be more. But what it should be done is every year. That I agree with, but I've always felt that shorter seasons was a better answer for the most part. Because I mean, you watch a fucking season of Voyager, there are great episodes in there, but there's a lot of fucking stinkers, right? Whereas you watch like season 5 of Doctor Who, season 6 of Doctor Who, more in, more out, there's better episodes there, but the season. I think 13 or 12 episode long seasons is great. Actually, you make a point that you could do it like that. I'm not against them completely rebooting it, but I don't think they'll get away with it. But you could erase the last 2 seasons of the X-Files, 11 and 12 that we got, and act like that never happened, and basically come back when Mulder was living off in a shack and Scully was off in the middle of nowhere, and you could just do it like that and come back to it there. And you're right, maybe make it that they pop up at the end, but I don't think Gillian Anderson's coming back because she left the X-Files for a reason. That's why there was they didn't do another season, because she went, oh, fuck it. It was, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. I mean, there was a
Maybe
second
some-
X-Files film that a lot of people forget about. It had Billy Connolly in it.
True. I think you could. The reason I say do 22 episodes is that everyone does this 12 episode thing, and it's not working. Worked for British TV. Used to work for streaming TV. Doesn't work anymore. And I think if you changed it up and go back to a thing that did work, okay, you get a lot of. You say you're going to get some stinkers in there, but you'll get a few stinkers in there versus lots of stinkers in there. Yeah.
I think you can still do shorter seasons, but you can do it every. I thought my only criticism of Paradise is they could have made it slightly longer. Right, it only had 8 episodes, but they are 8 brilliant episodes, right? And okay, maybe it should have been a 10-episode season. I don't think 12 episodes fails. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's shitty writing and a lack of creative ideas that is the problem. So when you put that across 22 episodes, it's going to become excruciating, right?
Yeah.
What my biggest problem with television these days is not the 12 episodes. It's the fact that you get 12 episodes every 3 fucking years. Right?
So that's why I was saying that's why I was saying if you do it the network TV route, it forces you to make 22 every year.
But I think Doctor Who worked back in the day with the 13 episodes. I think that worked. And they did it every year, and except with season when they had 1 year hiatus, which was stupid. Because Russell T Davies was too tired. Oh, you bless your little camp heart. 22 episode seasons for 7 years. Rick Berman, Star Trek, and at one point 22 seasons of Star Trek in a year.
Well,
Rick Berman,
look at
Star Trek.
JMS. He wrote 2 22 episode seasons by himself. No one else, and he managed to do the whole thing. All right. It would be nice to see the X-Files games. I think it needs to kind of go back to square one and move on from there. I think we're going to move on to the comments because we haven't done any comments. So
Was that all 5 stories?
4 stories.
I'm sure I said 5. Am I being stupid again?
I'm sure.
Yep, you're right. Oh, you missed out one.
What?
I knew you missed out one.
Yeah.
You missed out the confirmed Harry Potter and the new and
Did
the
I?
2 actors. Yes, you did.
Oh fuck. All right, hang on.
You missed out. You missed. I knew it was 5 stories. See, I'm fucking questioning myself.
Variety. Where was it? TV. Ryan Coogler.
BBC. Above you talking about something I haven't heard of.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I started from Judge Dredd TV series that I'd like to talk about. But all right, give me a second.
Can you tell me where you've seen that? Because I'd love to talk about it if it's real. But the last thing I saw about Judge Dredd TV series was like back in 2017, which was
It's called Mega City 1, not Judge Dredd. That's the first thing.
But that was the one from 2017, which was going to have Carl Urban as Dredd again. Has that had some movement recently? Because it kind of went into neverness of Hollywood.
Yeah, it did.
Basically, I mean, it's just confirming the casting that we already know about. Yeah,
Right,
but it has included some more casting, which is even more annoying because it's actually quite good casting.
Right, give me a second. Sorry, the whole Doctor. Where's my mouse? I hate this. It's always a bit weird. It seems to run a little faster on my mat than it does on my table, if that makes any sense. So we go there, bump. Sorry, I've killed all the prepped tabs that I've had because of this. You know, I've fucked up everything else. So, yeah. Oh. So HBO confirms cast members for. Oh yeah, no, I know why I couldn't do it.
Why?
Because when I analyze it to check other sources and stuff, it says no, I can't do it. Because I don't do BBC. I don't do BBC links.
No, I gave you the BBC one because it was the best of a bad bunch, and I was trying to be, add variety.
When I compile it, I pull about 3 sources together to create a whole new thing.
Well,
Like a
there's a million
journalist should
sources.
do.
A million sources. This is all confirmed. This has been
sources.
confirmed by HBO.
All right. So we've got Nick Frost, Papa Lazaro, Jane McTeer, Paul Whitehouse is going to be Filch.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense if you've ever seen him in the Fast Show when he does, what's it, Ted and Ralph?
Yeah.
And then what else we got?
There's a guy, they've confirmed the guy's Quirrell as well, who looks a bit like Quirrell, who again I think works as Quirrell. There you go, Luke.
Farley.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was the interesting thing because Paul Whitehouse was Sir Caladan in the movies. He is, and he's in the studio tour. He filmed a bit for the studio tour, doesn't he? So he will have been in the original films, and he will have been in. He's now going to be in the TV series, and he's again really fucking great casting for Filch.
This is him, but he's like in his youth. So he's like.
Wet and windy day. Oh, if you could.
I have to find something because he's been older. He's played. Who was it? That's not that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the. Fuck off! Thank you. Why will you not disappear?
Yeah, but I mean,
Harry and Paul, where he plays the old Git.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. So my ability to type. So this is the.
Not long to go now.
Is visiting time nearly over then?
No, not long to go for you. You should be dead by the morning.
See, that's what I'm expecting when he plays the part. I'm expecting that.
Not dying?
Yep, the doctors reckon you've got no chance. Look at your chart. Downhill all the way. Stick a couple of flagpoles on that, you could bung it out on ski Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting from that. Yeah, it's.
He's great casting as Filch. I mean,
He is great cast.
This is why, again, why? I do not get it. I just do not understand it. You take the time and effort to cast people that will do the justice right, and I love how there's these people now, right? Because the press cannot be seen, even though they agree with us, right? Cannot be seen to offload on Papa Lazaro as Snape.
It's gonna be Papa Lazaro, all right?
I can't pronounce his name. So why they can't offload on that? What's perfectly acceptable at the moment in today's society is to have a go at America. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a go at John Lithgow for playing, because how dare we cast an American as the most famous wizarding British wizarding headmaster. First off, please go and watch the first series of The Crown, right? And specifically pay attention to Winston Churchill and tell me that guy is not Dumbledore, right? He is absolutely Dumbledore. You wouldn't know he was American if you watched the season of The Crown. It's just these fucking journalists need to have a go at something about this, but they can't have a go at what they really want to have a go at, so they have a go at the next best thing. It's acceptable to have a go at America at the moment, so we're going to have a go at the guy. The one bloody person that actually will probably be a really good Dumbledore. Because he can play British. He is a chameleon actor. And he was one of the best on-screen Winston Churchills I have ever seen. That guy should have got a fucking Oscar, if you could, for TV, because he was so bloody good as Winston Churchill. I didn't see John Lithgow. I saw Winston fucking Churchill. And I know he'll do the same with Dumbledore. I know he will be a good Dumbledore. But we're going to have the press are all having to go at that at the moment. It's like, oh, fuck off. You just see this. It's like, I know what you want to say, and all going, oh yeah, Pablo's going, oh, he'll make a great Snape. No, you don't believe that. You know you don't believe that.
You know it's
He
going to
was
become
full of
really
shit.
problematic towards the end. But it's never going to make it to the end, is it? Be honest.
No.
All right. Where was I? Comments.
Especially when we get Black Ron. Sorry, Nige. It's going to be Ginger.
Someone's just easier to make him shut up by hitting the pause. So we're going to have a nice quiet moment here. We're going to reflect and look through some of the comments. I'm just going to wait for him to figure out that he can unmute himself.
He's fully aware of that, but he'd rather stick his finger up at you.
So, Andy danced. That was this weekend. So I danced.
God, he must have been drunk.
Chuck says, although I posted hello, but maybe got stomped on because anyway, reading guys and surprise. I'm surprised to see you here on a Monday. It's bank holiday, so yeah, we can we do what we want on there. So yes,
I do what I want.
Twitch is set to emote only. Oh fuck, that was me. I pressed a button. I need to go and pull my iPad out because there's a console thing on Twitch, and I might have pressed buttons on it, which made it emote only. Oops.
Yep.
Never saw the OD Tron, but had the poster lying around somewhere in a tube. My parents probably. Lol, not sure I'll hit the theaters to see this one or not.
You are the last person I thought that would not would never have seen Tron. Go and watch it. Go and watch it now, or your 80 coolness street cred is completely gone. You've never seen Tron, dude. Go and watch it. It's a great movie. It genuinely is a good movie.
Okay.
It's got David, what's his face? David Warner in it. I forgot it had David Warner in it, and I met him once at a Comic-Con.
It's annoying because when you watch Tron Legacy, you were expecting to have Cillian Murphy doing a similar thing to David Warner, which I found really irritating, which would have been good. Oh yes, and we all had a nice Easter. Being not religious, chocolate egg days, I like to call it. But for those religious people, I get what it is. So just pick the actors that fit the role best. Simple. Yeah, cool. And then it's like, no, the emote on thingies. Yeah, sorry. I pressed. There's this console thing here. I pressed the wrong button. And I'm gonna unpress it.
She also said hi. Hi, Echo.
So yes, Babster's here. I need to catch up with
Babster.
Babster.
Hello, mate.
Yes, I need to.
Simon.
Done it! I turned it off.
Simon Kingberg did The Martian
and Logan.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, I agreed.
Yeah. And look, we've got a leprechaun. Hello, Nigel.
Well, that's why I was mentioning the fact that the Weasley family might all turn out to be, black. It'll be the more ginger side. Sorry, Nigel.
Ginger. There comes your ginger side. We talk over Twitch, but we're not allowed. Yeah, I know. You should be allowed now. And then
that doesn't stop them posting emojis.
Yeah, no, you should see how many they've posted in the Twitch feed. It's ridiculous. I have to take a screenshot.
I think I can have a guess, knowing their sense of humour.
Yes, we've been spamming the Twitch channel. Yeah. With the state of films now, Pacific Rim would go for an Oscar. Yeah, probably. What we got here? We've got had to drop a far but back. That's nice. Had to co-walk. What? Oh, this is your Formula One rant.
Only because I've had a load of Dutch people on my case all day.
I'm not a fan of Dutch. I figured out how to destroy their entire country using 18 lorries full of explosives. It's quite easy. There's a reason they're called the Netherlands.
The Dutch were into F1 before Max started. They were when his father was. I want a Monster of the Week, first season of X-Files.
Yeah.
It was legendary, but with the background of the whole alien story and the whole will they or won't they thing between Scully and Mulder, true?
Yeah.
True.
I preferred 8 to 12 episodes in the series. Okay, I thought it was season 8 to 12 for X-Files. And I was a huge X-Files until it went poo. And I didn't watch any of the newer seasons. Yeah,
agreed with you.
That was so. I remember my parents buying the next episode of the X-Files on video, and me lending it to my teacher because he was so desperate to see it. That's how big it was. It's like 28 million viewers or something an episode.
I had the complete box set from 1 to 6, then the movie, and then it had that like year gap, and then they brought back season 7, 8, and 9 where Mulder kind of fucked off, and they started filming in LA, and not in Vancouver, and it kind of got a bit shit after that.
Yeah.
The movie was such this revealing thing, and they never did anything after that. They never did anything as cool as a movie.
Yeah, they used to release 24 episodes. They have so much TV to watch. Comment time. Yeah, the comments, quite a lot of comments. Comment time. Egad. Posts the ones from Twitch. But the Twitch ones aren't coming through because the system's saying it's spam. Because you are spamming them. We have done the 28 years later trailer.
There's a new one.
Is there a new one? I'll do it next week. Nick Frost is good casting. Brilliant. Yes. Get Harry in there also. Harry Enfield, that is, as Peeves. Or as who's the history teacher? Who's the really boring history teacher?
Oh.
That wasn't in the. Who's the boring history teacher in?
I've forgotten his name. Your wife will know.
Yeah, I the one that died whilst teaching history because he was that fucking boring and hasn't figured out he's dead. Tanith, tell us, come on. Bins. Harry Enfield is Bins.
I knew she would know.
Harry Enfield is Bins.
That would work.
Yeah. Crown was awesome. We're also having fun with Twitch. Tron Uprising was awesome, but they cancelled it. I haven't seen that. And then it's like kind of it's weird because that shows up on what do you call it, on YouTube, but not on this. We're also having fun spamming Twitch. Yes, I can see you spamming Twitch. Down. I won't get a part in Harry Potter series then.
You won't get a part in anything, Nigel. They hate ginger people.
They do. Ginger people are the devil. So, hey, Gareth shows us his friends. It's his fault for spamming there. So, okay, fair enough. Spam. Bins. And that's it. Let's turn the comments off.
They hate us, really.
Depends what game we're playing, and if you get me killed because you're the Black Widow of gaming, and we all agree on that. You get everyone killed.
Carry on. Carry on. You have 50% support on this podcast.
Anyway, come on.
Well,
man.
I mean, 60%.
I just realised I went all fucking Joe Biden there for a moment. Come on, man. You know the thing. Okay, let's see the Fantastic Four trailer and see how well we get on with it.
Wow, folks, we all know the story.
That's Mark Gatiss, isn't it?
It is.
4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
This car?
I realise he does look like the comic book version of the thing with the eyebrow. Yeah, and I like that. I do like that.
Yeah. Kind of like that. That kind of feels very comic booky.
Owe a
Yeah,
debt
it's
to
quite a good
these
thing.
intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four! Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking?
I don't want to sound rude or anything. They did the cooking in the first trailer. They should really.
Yeah, I know, but again, I do like the look.
Okay. That is fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this.
See, that feels very Johnny Storm. You take the piss.
Things going to change.
I kind of like the trailer. Until this bit.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
She looks fucking dreadful.
Right. If they were going to do a female Silver Surfer, they should have picked an actress with a voice that's got quite good presence. If that makes any sense, someone who's got kind of.
She does. The actress does. I know. This is what I don't get. But she is actually a really good actress.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about one with a good voice. Yeah,
got good,
you know, like the female Brian Blessed or Morgan Freeman sort of.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, because if you're just going to be a voice in a CGI character, you want to go for someone who's a voice. Yeah,
true.
Because you could.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
Are we safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up. We will face this together.
Does that make you think Terminator 2 and then go, the special effects are better in Terminator 2?
She doesn't
We
look
will
good.
fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
We will protect you.
Don't sound rude or anything. That's not very convincing. Where's the...
That is kind of cool. Okay. Tell me if we hadn't had 6 years of the MCU and generally Marvel being shit. That does look quite like an interesting movie. I like what the. At first, I didn't. I like the look of it. I like the look of it. It feels like the original '60s comic book. I think What's Her Face's Sue Storm is great. Everything but Pedro Pascal. Although maybe he will work as Reed Richards, and so I liked the trailer kinda. I don't like the female Silver Surfer. She looks shit, right? And really, it should have been a man as a Silver Surfer. That especially if you're going back to the '60s. But those three I already like immediately more than any of the other Fantastic Four. And I don't know, there was something about it. I like the stylistic of it. It's probably going to be a really bad film, but I kind of like the trailer again, if that makes sense.
Fantastic Four's quite a hard one to sell. Storyline wise, it's quite a hard one to sell. It's not like Batman or Spider-Man. They're quite easy ones to sell. Superman, I think, is a hard one to sell too. Because it's kind of got that level of Americana, kind of 50s cheese, and then even if you update it, then it kind of loses stuff. So I've just seen Biffa. Every time Biffa comes in it's always I survived, and then whatever's the thing that's on at the moment. So this week, I survived watching Doctor Who. So did I.
So did we. So did we.
I wish I didn't, because they would have had less viewers. So it's, I don't know. I've had some, I don't know. Given Marvel, the chances of it being shit are 80% chance of it being shit and 20% chance of it being okay. No, 80% chance of it being shit. Keith, don't do this to yourself. You're just going to upset yourself.
I'm saying up. I'm going up, not 80%, more like 90%. I was agreeing with you and upping the thing.
Oh, you want to
I'm not saying. I like the trailer. I like the style presented in the trailer, but I also know that the film is probably going to suck. But I do like the trailer for the most part. Not everything. Yeah. The Silver Surfer didn't work for me, but I like it as a trailer.
I really don't know why they couldn't just have had Norrin Rad in there. Why can't you just have Norrin Rad in there? It's not difficult.
Disney and Marvel can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Because they have to gender and race swap all the time. They have to. It's in their DNA now, apparently. Even at the risk of losing money and tanking your entire thing. You know, I mean, in 50 years' time, history's going to look back on this era and go, God, how stupid were they?
It will be viewed as the same as when we used mercury to try and cure everything. All right, let's go to our next trailer, which is the Thunderbolts. So yeah.
Lena, being a hero, there is no higher calling. Your sister understood something about that.
I should have come back for you.
No. That's just a fairy tale.
I was in
Oh, fucking copyright. I'm going to have to keep pausing this every so often, aren't
high school when the Avengers came. Kind of strange that it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
Buck, you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look, I've been where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever.
She does that.
Or you can do something about it.
I am a void.
So, I think out of these two movies, the Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts, I'm going to like the Thunderbolts more. And do you know why? Because it's more entertaining to watch incompetent people do something and succeed than it is watching competent people do something and succeed. It's just, there's more challenge to it.
You said it a couple of weeks ago. You said you thought that Thunderbolts would end up being the better movie, and I think you might be right.
Let's see. It still doesn't mean it's. Hang on. Still doesn't mean it's going to be great. What was it better to have? Really bad sickness or really bad diarrhea? It could be like that.
You can't outrun the emptiness.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
We all have things that we regret.
But I have so many.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes.
See, the other thing too is I think they're also going to be more willing to kill off some of the Thunderbolt characters than they would be for, say, the Avengers. So there's actual some stakes in there. Ghost's dead, sorry.
That's why we need each other.
We can't stop him alone. No one can. But we can find a way. Together.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
That star means something.
Yeah. Shit Avengers, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out when we get there. But as I said, I think Thunderbolts is going to be the better film versus Fantastic Four. But yeah. But yeah, cracking. There's lots of comments here. Lunch. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Shall we talk about Daredevil?
Go on then.
What a pile of shite that was, and a complete waste of my fucking time. I can't believe I didn't give up after episode 4 when I was going to give up. Why the fuck did I listen to you? You're wrong. It's shit. It's not going to get better in season 2. It got to the end and it went, we can't really fucking be bothered to the whole season. What was that shite? What was that shite? Please explain to me.
I think it was a shit episode, but I think
Keith, I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched the entire series. There were maybe 2.5 episodes of content in the entire series. Everything else was filler shite.
But that was what that. But this is the thing, right? You've got. I don't think you can truly judge this until you see season 2, right? Because they took the show, they took a lot instead of completely wiping everything and starting again. They used some of the story. What they should have done is got rid of everything, but they didn't. So we only had 3 episodes that were originally written by the new creative team. So you had this mismanaged, jumbled series. I have a big problem with the Kingpin's ultra-violent scene because it just didn't have any context. And I thought the Kingpin doing that, I don't remember the Kingpin crushing somebody's head. I remember the Kingpin fighting.
No, there was Car Door first season, episode 3, I think.
I'm not talking. But in the comics, he was never like that, was he?
Yeah, in Daredevil he was. Not in Spider-Man or in Daredevil and Punisher he was violent.
Just didn't. That scene didn't wash with me, and everybody's banging on about the MCU's most violent thing, and I said I think that was why it was there, and for no other reason. It didn't. What did it do to service the story?
Well,
I mean, yes, this season was shit. I have a feeling that season 2 will be better in some ways. Is it going to be that much better that it's going to elevate from being shit? Don't know. But it'll be better than this season. Because at least it will be not a mixed match of thing. It will be as intended. So that's all I'm saying is that I completely agree with you that the season's been shit, really. Now that I've gone back over it again, you're right. And I really didn't like the final episode. And they brought Karen back, but in a really stupid way. I think what happened, there was 2 stories being told here, and Disney were cheap ass about it. They kept some of the stuff they shot originally, and it made it feel like it was 2 separate TV series. I kind of like the Punisher coming back. I like the scene with the Punisher. I liked how the Punisher escapes. Because that is the Punisher. He's a violent fucker. And when John Bertham was on screen, I liked it. I am partly looking forward to seeing his Marvel one-shot. Because if they're willing to make him that violent, which is what he should be, then it might actually be quite good. The problem, this was why it was so shit, is because they kept a load of stuff that they fired people for because they knew it was shit in to save some money. And I think that's why we think it's shit. Because you said 2.5 episodes. And it is literally 3 episodes that those guys rewrote and reshot. The rest is from what was shot before.
Oh, God,
so it's funny you say that.
Do you know what? It got to the end, yeah? It literally got to the end. And I said to the missus, I said, if it ends now, this is a colossal waste of my fucking time. That's what I said, yeah? And then it ended. And I went, that was a fucking waste of my time because it was just...
Yeah, I get it.
The Punisher thing.
Season.
Oh, we like the...
Yeah. It's half a season, and it's not a very good season. And it could have been condensed down into about 3 episodes. We did the crap in the middle, the crap with the whole court case, the whole bank episode, although that was quite a good,
right,
in some ways.
The bank episode you could have pulled out, yeah, really easy. You could have pulled out that bank episode out. You could have put it before you watched anything else. It could have been like a little. Here's a taster of seeing Charlie Cox pretending not to be Daredevil. That's what I'd have called it, pretending not to be Daredevil. It could have been just Matt Murdock, yeah. And you could have done it like that, and people would have enjoyed that episode on its own because it was quite a good episode on its own. Yeah, I like that as an episode on its own. It felt like when you had 22 episode series, that would have been one that you'd have had in there. The one where he's in the bank thing on his own. He didn't have Daredevil? No. Did it fit inside the story? No. Did it really? No. It could have been that one that you pulled out. Here's a taster. There you go.
It wasn't an egregious episode.
No, it wasn't an egregious. It felt like he was a superhero trying to hide his identity for the entire thing. And having Kamala Khan's dad in there, I didn't see as a problem, I'll be honest with you, because he was a nice character. So, yeah. Oh, dude, it's like, sorry, Biff has brought this up. It's Vanessa. They ruined Vanessa as a character. She was always just, this is your work. I'll have you over here, sort of thing.
I don't blame you for feeling anything, but it is interesting that you said what you said, because that corresponds with what has been said about the whole show. I do not think you can fairly properly judge it until season 2 is aired. I suspect it's going to be more of the same, but who knows? The Punisher was cool, but it wasn't very good as a series. And I don't know what Disney are doing, because, I mean, if that's better than what you had before, by God, what you had before must have stunk.
I can tell you that Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio did everything to try and make that work.
Yeah.
You got a feeling that the two of them were doing everything they could make it work, but they couldn't make it work because there was no content there whatsoever, let alone fucking entertainment. Okay.
And they're going to release Ironheart. They're going to release Ironheart.
How long? Is it 5 years they held on to that?
3.
3 years. Yeah, because we wanted to knock off Iron Man with a character who has no charisma. And an actress who's got no charisma either. You can make it work when you've got charismatic actors. You really can. Seriously, you can. It's like Iron Man, yeah, before Robert Downey Jr. played that character. Iron Man was a B class superhero. And I used to remember, I used to get my Spider-Man comics, and then they do a run of Spider-Man comics, and then they turn to Iron Man. I used to fucking hate it. I hated the fucking character Fing Fang Foom. You know, the dragon that used to chase Iron Man. I fucking hate it. I remember reading that. This is bullshit. Where's the Hobgoblin? Yeah? Where's the Hobgoblin? It's like, when he fought like Titanium Man and the Red Dynamo, that was awesome. And it was always the thing with Titanium Man and the Red Dynamo about outrunning them, yeah, in the comics. And this is from like the 80s, yeah. It was always about outrunning them because Iron Man couldn't outrun them. And the Red Dynamo and Thingy could go into space and then back down, where he couldn't do that. They did try and cover that in the first film, but he was a shit character, but you had a charismatic person play the part, and it worked. But they don't seem to want to do that anymore. All right, let's talk about Bondsman. How far are you into Bondsman?
Only the 4th episode at the moment. So
4th episode.
Yeah.
Did you?
So
have you figured out where it went to hell?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I want to talk about it when I finish watching it, because I'm enjoying it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm eking it out, because, as I said, there's nothing else good at the moment. There's no it's partly why I was watching old movies, but everything's ended, and there's no good shit on at the moment. So I want to talk about it, but let's save it for next week, because I have a feeling there's going to be no good shit on next week either. So, yeah. It all sucks.
Okay.
It sucks.
Okay, well, I was enjoying that. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I really want you to, so I can talk to you about it.
Yes. Give me till next week. I'll finish watching it, because there's nothing this week at all. So I will finish watching it. I can see why you're enjoying it, and I am enjoying it, if that helps.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay.
What are we going to talk about?
Well, we watched Star Trek Best of Both Worlds.
We did.
I'd be honest with you, going back and watching Next Generation, I like Riker a lot less. Kind of comes across as a petulant dick in places. And not in a good way.
Where are you seeing that? Because I'm not seeing that as much.
You're not seeing that as much?
Well, no, I mean, I think Shelby in this is really annoying and too ambitious and a bit of a, you don't beam down an hour before you're meeting the commander of a ship. That's just rude. And then she's like, when she goes, "You're in my way," that's just like, fuck off, bitch. So I don't get where he's been overly.
It's his attitude towards her. Instead of turning around and goes, it was good that you beamed down early, but you didn't tell us. You didn't follow protocol, and didn't put her in a place the way he should have put her in a place. Yeah, he's like kind of no. There's a chain of command. Follow the chain of command. Didn't do that. He was more annoyed at her for being her, and even he said he liked that part of her because he used to be like that. Yeah. And it was just like kind of Riker. Read some fucking leadership books or something. Right? You're supposed to go. Okay, that's cool that you've done that. It's like the thing with Data. It's like get some sleep. Yeah, and he should have turned around. Goes, "I'm being nice. Go get some sleep. Seriously, you need it. Go. Your head's probably frazzled. You'll think about it better in the morning. Go get some sleep." That's it. Maybe it's because of the dad in me. I wasn't a dad when I watched it. Now I'm a dad. I've been a dad for 16 years. And it's a bit more, you kind of have to, sounds awful, have to kind of treat it a bit like a kid, if that makes any sense. Yeah?
I found her to be obnoxious. And at times...
Oh, no, it's not that she wasn't. It was just the fact that Riker wasn't behaving quite as polite as thingy. As that. That's the bit that kind of got me.
I found her to be a bit... annoying and irritating, so I'm kind of on Riker's side. When she beamed down, that pissed him off. She'd already had that speech. She made an assumption that he was taking the captaincy without really thinking about it. And it's like, why would you want to leave the Enterprise where all the cool shit happens, right? So she'd made this assumption, and he had told her not, and then she was still going for the role. So I can understand why he would be a bit irritated. I'm kind of siding on him. I don't think he was a dick in this. I think he was responding to a fucking obnoxious cow. I mean, Shelby was definitely the bad guy in that. And she constantly tests his authority.
Do you know what the really irritating thing about that was?
Go on. The
episode is named after Riker. Is dilemma and not after anything that happens with the Borg. You know that, don't you?
Best of both worlds.
That way he got to be the captain and still got to be the first officer, so he had the best of both worlds. Nothing to do with the Borg whatsoever. They just happened to be in it.
It's funny because I think that was voted as one of the most shocking cliffhangers in history of any TV show. I mean. It's definitely going to go down as one of the worst, and I'm trying to think of another TV show that did something quite like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, movie, you have Vader as Luke Skywalker's father, but this was, you took the captain of the Enterprise and you turned him into a Borg, and nobody knew whether he would survive. And I remember how many people reacted. It was genuinely a shocking moment, and it's why it's still so famous, why it's still so beloved by the fans. And again, why bringing Shelby back in Picard season 3 was kind of clever, and sticking her as the obnoxious cow on the bridge of the Enterprise F, genius. Matalis knew what he was doing. Matalis knew what he was doing.
It's so. All right, so I sent you the little snippet, the fact that in the episode, the neutral zone, the Romulans were complaining because this Borg cube is not the Borg cube that they saw all the way out there. This Borg cube had been going up and down and nicking bits, so it wasn't the exact one. They said it could be, and they weren't very committed on that. Because I think that was one thing that stuck out to me. Because it's like I like having a bit of foreshadowing when something comes up. The Borg as an enemy, yeah, I know Star Trek fans love it. I always think it's a bit on the lame side. They always come across as cyborg zombies. Just them, the people. The cube thing does the whole thing with the fascism, and does the whole kind of the big thing like that. I see, the thing, I always like the idea that they were kind of like raiders. They weren't really, they were just these cubes going around separately doing their own thing. There wasn't like a big, massive, super collective thing going on. And it was, they carve up a planet, do their stuff, and then fuck off. And that they kept in this, because you want this kind of HP kind of Lovecraftian horror sort of thing, that there's shit that they know that you don't know, you can't even get it across. I like the idea that when Locutus saw Data, it went out of date. Yeah, and it's annoying because the Borg saw him originally as out of date technology, not required anymore, versus what they've got, because they were like a mix. It's yeah. For an hour and a half of television, it's extremely well crafted and extremely well put together. I watched it this time, right? And we're halfway through episode 1. I think, Jesus Christ, we're 20 minutes into this episode, and loads of shit's happened. Yeah,
like,
I know.
A lot has happened.
There was no any B story with it.
No, but there didn't need to be. It was relentless. It was beat after beat. But again, but there were moments you had you had enough of a time, which actually it's a minute and a half long scene, but it sets the whole tone for something when Picard's in the meeting with his Admiral friend, and he talks about how he likes her, Shelby, but you kind of get, well, he's a bit of an old man, and you can see why. And then it sets up the whole Riker thing of, well, okay, why is Riker not taking it? And Riker's like, and then it sets up the Shelby thing. It's brilliant. It's very well written, and it's very well done in the fact that you've got a lot of story there in a 90-minute episode. And I mean, it is Star Trek generation. It is a prime example of really Star Trek done well. I mean, and that it will go down in history, as I said, as one of the most sort of shocking cliffhanger endings of any episode. I mean, it genuinely, it's up there with like Infinity War ending and everything else. I mean, can you imagine just being in front of the TV and never seeing any shit like this, and Picard's all of a sudden a Borg? It's like, is he dead? Can they get him back? He's got all this cybernetic shit on him.
Yeah.
He's half cyborg. How the fuck are they gonna fucking sonic screwdriver out of this? And I remember seeing it for the first time and going, holy fuck, but I'd already had an inkling because I'd seen it in the Star Trek magazine. There was a picture of him as the Locutus, so I knew kind of what was coming. But genuinely, if you didn't know that was coming in the early 90s, well, 1990, that was pretty fucking shocking.
Yeah.
And actually, as a 2-part episode, a lot happens. I mean, there's quite a lot of shit. It feels longer than it is. It feels longer.
No, it does. One of my biggest criticisms goes like this. Yeah, you're hiding in a nebula. Yeah, the enemy's doing the equivalent of dropping depth charges into the nebula to try and flush you out. Yeah. So what's the last thing you do? Go roaring right past them on the way out. You do the opposite. You go the opposite way. Because I watched that and my brain went, that's fucking stupid. Don't do it, guys.
But I mean, that's part of TV in general. I mean, yes, agreed. But you could say that about a lot of movies and shows. Yeah. It's part of the entertainment of it, isn't it? It's setting up the sort of atmosphere, the intensity that the Borg are chasing after them. But yeah, you're right. You go out the other end of the fucking nebula. There's only one ship. Yeah. It's like just go out the other end. like,
trying to sneak out when they're not paying attention.
Fucking leg it. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's one of the probably the best episodes. I think there's some. I love Way the Warrior.
It makes me feel nostalgic.
Yeah.
The remaster was extremely well done. It has great moments. It's still a great one. I think the next one is a Klingon one. I think the next one is Redemption.
Is it Redemption?
I have to Google this because I don't.
One I'm looking forward to is on with Captain Jellicoe.
Yes.
Because it's as a kid I thought he was a dick, but now I'm grown up I might not think he's such a dick watching it. And given the fact that he was there to fix some of the bits in canon that people didn't like Picard, so Patrick Stewart didn't like the fish in his quarters, and Troy didn't like the fact that she didn't watch the thing. Fans did have to wait 3 months to see if they'd save Picard or not. That's a proper cliffhanger.
Yep.
But yes,
I think the next one is Redemption. I will confirm this, but so that we watch the right one for next week. But I think the next one is Redemption, which is a Klingon story.
Has it got?
This was good. Yes,
Gowron in it.
I think it is Gowron's beginning. I'm not sure. I think it's Gowron.
Gowron's a great. Martok
Gowron's
is my favourite Klingon of all time.
Yes,
but Gowron is the most memorable one. He's the most memorable Klingon, more than Worf. No, Martok's is the coolest Klingon.
Yeah, Martok was like, he was the general. He was a geezer. You want to go down the pub with him. I mean, he's like your rowdy mate. You know he's going to be a bit out of control. You know he's going to get a bit drunk, but he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If he gets into a fight, you know he's going to kick the ass of the other guy, so it's fine. That's Martok. Oh, so then he might get a little bit stabby when he's had a couple of glasses.
Bit stabby.
Yeah, but it is true. Fans had to wait a while. It was a genuine, well done, brilliantly executed cliffhanger because it ends with that, I am Locutus of Borg, like that. And you're like, what? You can't fucking end it there. Yeah. Anyway, we've been going a while. I think we should wrap this shit up and put a bow on it.
Okay.
Thank you to everybody. I'm actually genuinely shocked that so many people have joined on a Monday. Maybe we should do this shit on a Monday.
I have a job, unfortunately. You should see some of the comments. I could see the comments. I'm really bad because in Twitch, because I left it on emote only, so it's just full of spam. On that note,
greatest line in any movie ever is, "You have not experienced Shakespeare until you've heard it in its original Klingon." Brilliant line. Brilliant line.
Yeah. But I had more. I like Martok more. Christopher Chang was good.
Chang was great. Christopher Plummer's Chang was great, but Martok,
it's cooler. He's just the coolest Klingon. Sorry, Worf. Martok. If you had a choice between you and Martok, it's hanging around with him.
Yep.
And on that note, on that bombshell, it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him.
See ya. Thank you for watching.